This is Ethan Tapper, the Chittenden County Forester, and I'm here at the Hinesburg Town Forest. One of the differences between ecological forest management, this type of forest management that I do, and some of the misconceptions we might have about what forest management is a different understanding of what it means to manage a forest, of why we're doing this. Now, if we're thinking about forests solely as a commodity, and their only goal is to generate timber, to generate revenue, then the sole measure of our success as a forest manager or a forest steward is our ability to grow generation after generation of valuable trees that can be cut down and sawed into valuable forest products. However, as our understanding of forests, the way that they work, and their value broadens, it forces us to embrace a different understanding of what the goal of forest management is. Now, it's tempting when we visit a forest to get hyper-focused on the trees. And there's a reason for that. The trees are really what defines this community. But when I think about forests, I think about the trees more like the coral in a coral reef. So they're this living structure around which this community is built. But of course, if we think about a coral reef, we're not just thinking about the coral itself, we're thinking about this web of life that's woven around it. So as we understand how important all of the different components of forests are, it's up to us to reimagine what the forest is. So what this means is, instead of just thinking about the trees, we think about the trees and the mosses and the lichens and the fungi and the invertebrates and the animals, all of the different components of this forest ecosystem. Now, if we reimagine the forest in this way, it really changes the way we think about forest management. So our goal is not just to manage these trees independent of this community of which they're a part. Our goal is to do right by this entire community of living things. We know that across millennia, the species that live in this forest are adapted to forests which are diverse and complex, which are multi-generational, which have tons and tons of dead wood and some big old trees. These things that we're creating, these holes in the canopy, these stumps, this dead wood on the ground, are more than just the absence of a tree. They are habitat. They are conditions to which this community of the reimagined forest have adapted to and which they rely on. And by taking our relatively young, simple forests and pushing them towards this more diverse condition, that we're actually doing a better job of taking care of that entire community that has adapted to forests like this for thousands of years. Reimagining forests really allows us to reimagine what it means for a tree to die, what it means for a forest to be managed, what it means to take care of it. It's about so much more than just trees.